do not believe I have it installed. No, I do not, but you can just type in yum search nmap. Not sure if I have to enable additional repositories for this or not. We'll see a bit later on when we keep on adding repositories. No, I actually do not. I can type in yum install nmap there we go. This will install nmap, and nmap is generally used for ill purposes or something of a kind, but there are an increasing amount of people who use the tool for the primary purpose for which the tool was designed, and that is for network admins, basically to be able to establish status of their services, to establish whether the services are vulnerable to certain vectors of attack, and most importantly of all, what people tend to use nmap for is to verify are the ports open on a particular server. So if I type in nmap 192.168.1.102.101 port 80, and oops, I made a mistake here, so give me double verbosity. Nmap, you should definitely educate yourselves more on that subject. You won't be required to know it in details for the Red Hat Certified System Administrator exam, so no worries there, but as an administrator in general, you should really know what nmap is, how to use it, and you should get acquainted better with it. So I'm not sure did I actually scan the proper IP address. I typed in 101 and it says that the port 80 is filtered. That usually means that the port 80 is closed. It will either say closed, filtered, or open. So for example, if I was scanning my SSH server, not sure if the IP address for the SSH server has changed. If I was scanning my SSH server and if I said, hey, why don't I check port 22 and see what is going on there? Is port 22 open? Is it responsive? So if I figure out that port 22 is open, if I figure out that I can ping the server, I then know that I don't have a problem with the firewall, and you see it says 22 TCP open SSH. I know that's not a problem with the firewall then. I know that's not a problem of connectivity. Then only one choice remains, and that one choice is that the SSH protocol, or whatever protocol we are using, is actually misconfigured, or there is a bug there, so we know exactly where to look for that problem. Anyway, I'm going to cut the tutorial here, and I will bid you all farewell until we see each other in the follow-up tutorials. Welcome all to this chapter. Today I would like to start talking about Red Hat servers, and to be more specific, I would like to explain how you can actually connect to one via remote. And for this we're going to need two systems. Basically, one will be a server and another one will be a Red Hat. Basically a client, so to say. For that purpose, I have chosen to download CentOS. CentOS is basically Red Hat. It's almost exactly the same. There's about 2% difference in between the two. Nothing that anybody would actually notice. Most of the differences are negligible. In fact, I have advised all to actually use CentOS at the beginning of the course, as it is free and you will be able to follow through the course without any problems. So I will now bring up my second machine. My second machine will be my server, which will be CentOS, and I will use my existing machine, which is a Red Hat, in order to connect to this server via SSH. SSH is a communication, I suppose you can say that it's a way of communicating between two machines. You basically log into a machine via remote, and then there you can execute commands, and all traffic is heavily encrypted, so not only you and the other person on the other side can actually know what is going on, as anybody in between or anybody else will not be able to see pretty much anything. Anyway, in order for us to do this, we will first need to download CentOS. Their official website is www.centos.org. You can just go ahead and click on Get CentOS Now. Now there are Several things here. It is possible for you to actually download a minimal ISO and then install a non-GUI, something of a kind, but for the purposes of this tutorial I have downloaded a full version because I am able to get a full screen there. But you yourselves will not need a full screen, so you can actually download a minimal ISO file without any GUI interface of whatsoever. This is not a bad idea because it will consume minimal amount of resources, and considering that this is a virtual machine, every bit of resource, any amount of resources is, I mean, the resources on our systems are limited, and the less you use, the better it is. Let me put it like that. But as I said, for the purpose of this tutorial, I would like to have a full screen, so I will download a full DVD ISO. Do not worry, I'm not going to download it now during the tutorial, rather instead I have downloaded it previously. But you can also go ahead, and it says ISOs are also available via torrent, so you can go ahead and click there, and then you have these different things. I mean, these are 64-bit versions. If you need a 32-bit version, you can go ahead and click on alternative downloads, if I'm not mistaken, and there you go. Unfortunately, CentOS 7, I don't see a 32-bit version here, but doesn't matter, you can download CentOS 6.6 here, i386, that would be the 32-bit version. You will be able to do pretty much the same things that we do here. If you have a 32-bit system, you won't be deprived of pretty much anything. Some of you might say, oh, but it's not the latest version or something of a kind. Well, the difference in the versions are usually the high-end features, and their fine-tuning, so to say. Something that somebody who is learning, somebody who is trying to pass the Red Hat Certified System Administrator exam is not going to notice that much. Anyway, so pick the version that you need, download it, and I have already downloaded mine. I have a VirtualBox here, so I have Red Hat. It is up and running. You can see my previous session. One of my previous sessions is here anyway. I just cleared the screen, and I will leave Red Hat as it is. I will leave the machine running. I have enough resources on this particular machine to allot to the next machine, but if you don't, as I said, install the minimal version and give less resources. And I do have a tonload of other virtual machines here. None of them are running at the moment. They're all powered off, but I would like to create a new one, which will be CentOS. The installation is pretty much the same. I will quickly go through it so that you may see it. CentOS. It is immediately recognized as if you type in CentOS, it will recognize as a Linux system, and it immediately recognizes it as a Red Hat 64-bit version. There's also a 32-bit version if needed. So just go ahead and click on Next. Cannot create a machine CentOS in the parent folder. This folder already, oh yeah, okay, so I have one of my machines that is named, oh yes, I do have another machine which is named exactly the same. I'm using that one for a completely different purpose, so I won't mess with it. This one I will name CentOS Udemy. Let's put it so, CentOS Udemy. You can name it whatever you wish. I simply couldn't name it CentOS because I already have a machine called CentOS. Go ahead and click on Next. I will allot at least 1 GB of RAM, even though it can run on less. Next. How much space? I will give it about 128 gigs. You can get away with 20 if you don't have enough space. Maybe 20 is not the best of ideas. Try in between 30 and 50 if you're trying to save space, but it should work out without any problems anyway. Go ahead and click on Create, and there you go, we have this. So right click on it, say Settings, click on Settings, go to Storage, select the device, and first click on Controller ID where it says Empty, and then let's go ahead and choose our virtual CD DVD drive. Where is it? Okay, there we go. So mine is in Downloads. Yours is wherever you've downloaded it. Most likely in Downloads again. Doesn't matter if you're doing this on a Windows or a Linux system. my host is Linux, but it's completely irrelevant whether your host is Windows or Linux or Mac. The